What's up, guys? DJ, what's up, man? Yeah, start the stream now because as long as there's somebody in the chat, that's all that matters. I'm sure other people will join subsequently. Good to see you feeling better, man. As I say, might got issues, man, but you know, feel free to DM me on Twitter. You know that's what the community's there for, isn't it? You know, we look out for each other. If you've got issues, just DM me or some of the other guys. I'm sure there'll always be someone there to, you know, keep an eye out for you. Gone an hour early tonight because obviously Piz is doing his Patreon stream at 1 o'clock in the morning UK time, which is 8 p.m. Eastern. So I'm gonna hopefully be jumping on there. So I thought there's no point doing a 12 o'clock stream for this. It was overrun into Piz's stream, which is meant to be on anyway. And who's going to watch my stream if Piz is streaming? It's commercial suicide. So I thought, yeah, just jump on, do this, go an hour earlier. Hopefully, just a couple of people jump on. Last time I did the stream before Piz, had a really good sort of reaction. There's quite a few people jumped on board. I think it was Apollo. No, this is just the normal because of the film. I've just been trying to keep it consistent with the films. So yeah, it's not the producer's cut. It's just this is going to be the normal. I think it's like an hour 28 minutes. I think the producer's cut is about 10 minutes longer. But yeah, I just thought I'd keep it consistent with what's gone before. So yeah, it's just a normal cut. I do like the producer's cut, but I thought, you know, as it's not technically what was, well, you could argue amongst yourselves regarding that. I mean, it's not the one that went into cinemas, so I've gone with what went into cinemas. So yeah, it's going to be the normal version. Thoughts on the Ghostbusters trailer today? I really I like it. I think it looks pretty good. It looks like it's going to stay. Okay, this is set in a small town rather than New York, but it looks like it's going to be. It's definitely got like that Stranger Things vibe to it, which I'm okay with because I love Stranger Things. Obviously, got like Finn Wolfhard in it as well, and obviously Paul Rudd. You know, you can't go wrong with Paul Rudd, who I was talking of which we're going to see in a minute. But yeah, I'm quite positive about the trailer. I think it looks fairly good. It doesn't seem to be woke in any way, which is a good thing. So that's a good thing. Paul Rudd doesn't. Oh God, sorry. Doesn't he? No, come on. He does look. He has aged. Yeah, he doesn't. He's aged well. He has aged well, but he does. You know, he is older than what he looks in Halloween 6. I mean, he's was he 20? He's actually, you know, he's not actually that young in Halloween 6. I think he's about 26 at that point because he's in his early 50s now. I could see Paul Rudd as Superman. I think he's too short, DJ. Personally, I think Paul Rudd is about like 5'9". I mean, Superman for me has got to be like, you know, he's got to be like 6'2", at least. You know, 6'2", 6'3". Listen, I'm just going to get into the movie now because people will probably jump on board as the film goes on. But you know, I mean, obviously Piz is doing his Patreon stream at 1 o'clock, 8 p.m. Is it 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? Which is, so I really need to get a move on because obviously I'm meant to be on that stream, and if I stay too long on this stream, I'm going to lose views very, very quickly. So I'm just going to, if anybody wants to watch along, I am going to start it now. And this is, just to confirm, this is not the producer's cut, this is the normal, like our 28-minute version. So I'm just going to press play. 3, 2, 1, now. You've got that Dimension Films logo, which is, at the time, I didn't think much of it, but it was made iconic like 12 months later with Scream. I mean, I think the Dimension Films logo, when this film came out, I didn't think anything of it, but a year later, it kind of became like an iconic logo, because Scream was such an iconic film. I always associate Scream with that Dimension Films logo, and yet 12 months earlier, Halloween 6 had done it, but unfortunately Halloween 6, it's not a great film. I'm going to rewatch it now, but it's not a great film, in my opinion. There's just too many bizarre moments. It's the culmination of the Thorn Trilogy, which never made much sense anyway. In this, I mean, Michael's given birth to, well, she's given birth to Michael's child. How did that work out? Like, I can't believe Michael was getting down with her. Did they artificially inseminate her, or? Is it true? Well, apparently, I mean, that's the rumor going around. Whether there's any truth in it, I mean, this could be just internet hearsay. But why wouldn't you try and get a A-list actor on board? I don't think Paul Rudd would, for a second, consider Halloween Kills. Realistically, he's in one of the biggest franchises in the world. Why would he do it? And I don't think he's. I mean, is he that proud of Halloween 6? I don't think I think he's one of those actors who's probably really not that fussed. The fact he was in it, I think maybe he could be. I'm not sure he's at the levels of Kevin Bacon, but I don't think he's that proud of appearing in The Curse of Michael Myers. You can't really blame him, because it's not a particularly great film. This was the best VHS ever owned. Yeah, well, I mean, this was like 95, so VHS was still going strong at this point. I mean, DVD didn't come along until, in a big way, for 2 or 3 years after. So I suppose VHS in 95 was still a big deal. Tony Gagey is a bad actress, yeah. Hey, Jess, what's up, man? Nice to see you on board. Hope you're watching along for this very, very average Halloween movie. It just feels so un-Halloween. This crazy altar, and you got like all these candles. It just feels so. Yeah, it just feels so un-Halloween. And I never really understood the whole Man in Black form thing anyway. As a kid watching it, I never even put the clues. And I just wondered who these random people were. I just wanted to see Michael killing people. And as I say, trying to explain something like Michael Myers is just it's a mistake from the beginning. You don't try and explain something. It's just not the funny movie. It's going to be, yeah. I still prefer, even though 5 is like a ridiculous movie. It's quite sort of jokey in a way, and it's quite simplistic. I actually prefer it because it's got that 80s feel to it, and this has got that whole pre-Scream 90s feel about it. And I was never a big fan of anything pre-Scream in the 90s. It just felt, it just feels so off to me. But even though technically it's probably a better film than Halloween 5, it just I don't get it. It doesn't hit me in the feels. You know, I don't get that feel of like, because when this film came out, I was like 19, so the nostalgic effect had gone, and I was left with this sort of. It feels very cold, very methodical. There's no warmth to this film, in my opinion. But I mean, each to his own. Yeah, yeah. Please, anyone who hasn't hit the like button, the last live stream I did, I forgot to ask people to hit the like button, and it seems to really affect the views. I don't know if hitting the like button, I don't know what that does, but and comments as well, because um, when I do a Friday live stream, the Friday before last, I've got nearly 80 views, but it's got like quite a few comments. It's got quite a few likes. Whereas the live stream I did this Friday gone, it's got like 3 likes, and I don't think there's any comments. So I don't know where, and the views are way down on the previous. Whether I don't know how the algorithm works on YouTube. I've no idea, but I'm actually really quite proud of the last live stream I did. That I mean, I think if anybody wants to see a Forever Purge rant and see me get really angry, then go and watch my last live stream, because I went hard on the Forever Purge because I had a lot to say about that film. So if you want to see me losing my temper, then go and watch my last live stream. The poster always communicates Michael wearing black gloves with hand. Well, everything about this film confuses me, to be honest with you, Apollo. As I say, I didn't even realise at the beginning of Halloween 4 that it was the man in black getting off the bus. I thought it was Michael Myers. As a kid, I thought Michael Myers was getting off the bus. I'm wondering, why is Michael on a bus with a load of normal people? Because I had no idea about this man in black. And for the whole Thorn Trilogy, the whole thing just completely bewildered me. I feel I wish there were certain things which got still in it. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. It's a cut and paste job. You want stuff in and you want stuff out. You wonder, like, with all these films that throughout time, there's probably always been like a producer's cut, a director's cut, which is probably the perfect version for someone. Because any cinematic release that comes out, it's never going to be perfect for everyone. And there's always going to be a version that someone would prefer. This kid, look at the blonde hair. He looks so familiar. Has he been in any other films? He just looks so familiar. He looks like 1,000,001 other like kids from 90s movies. No one wants to back windows. Yeah, well. So no way that done shows to Smith Rose handles the cares of fall and drive back home. Yeah. Yeah, don't overthink these things. I try not to. Captain Halloween, hello. Captain Halloween's in the chat. What's up, man? Nice to see you on board. If you want to jump on in the live commentary, we are currently just around the 8.5 minutes mark. We've got a cheap laundry shot now. So I'll probably stop talking for a minute and just watch this. It's so 90s though. It's such a 90s film. Maybe not as much as Scream, but it's... Jamie, what's up? Nice to see you in the chat. Hopefully you'll jump on for Piz's patron stream as well. I was going to do a stream anyway, but I thought, you know, with Piz's stream at 1, it was going to clash, and obviously he was going to appear on it anyway. I thought, if you put a stream out before Piz's stream, it's always like quite good for people jumping on, because people are waiting for Piz's stream and they'll just jump on smaller channels like mine. So, but obviously you wouldn't jump on anyway. But it's I think last time Piz did a live stream, and I put a live stream out before his, and it was just loads of people in the chat. And I think a lot of people just like probably waiting for Piz. But a combination of Piz coming up on the live stream and Halloween commentary, can't go wrong, can you? Even if it is Halloween 6. And I keep bashing this film, but you know, I do like it. It's just it's been a long time. And Donald Pleasence, I always feel sorry for Donald Pleasence, because I don't think he actually, I think he died before this film was released. I think the film came out I think he died in February 95. And I think the film came out in the summer. But you can see in this film, you can see he's not got long to go. I'd like to think that, you know, he was paid a substantial amount of money to appear in this film, and his family have done well out of it. I thought the theatre. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, even though I'm 44, because of the age restrictions in the UK, I was never old enough to watch like Halloween 4 or 5 at the cinema, because I was still too young. So Halloween 6 was actually the first film that I was actually allowed to watch at the cinema as an adult, because 4 and 5 I was still too young. So it's actually the first film I saw at the cinema, because actually I was you know, I was 19 when this film came out. So yeah, I was actually legally allowed to go and watch it. Whereas with Halloween 5 and 4, I was still a teenager. So I was actually too young to actually, in the UK, if you're under 8, if these films were 18 certificates, so if you were under 18 in the UK, you couldn't actually, it doesn't matter if you were an adult, you weren't allowed in to watch these films. And the same rule applies today. So same with me, Captain Halloween. So this was the first film I saw at the cinema. Yeah, Paul Rudd is quite bonkers in this film for quite large parts of the film. Is this the first film Paul Rudd actually did, or did he do other stuff before this? Because, as I say, he wasn't a teenager when he made this. He was a grown man. He was in his mid-20s. So I don't know whether what his resume was before this. And what did he do between this and like 40-Year-Old Virgin? Because I know 40-Year-Old Virgin, which was 2004, and this is 95. But what did he do between 95 and 2004? Yeah. Well, yeah, he is, by the point of this film, he is completely supernatural. And obviously we're going to bring him back down towards more human in the new trilogy, and obviously with Halloween Kills, maybe he'll go more supernatural again. Maybe, I don't know. It's looking that way. He's going to go more supernatural. Oh, Oak's in the chat. Oh, what's up, man? Good to see you on board. Always good to see an OG member of the Sausage Factory. Love those old Sausage Factory episodes. politically incorrect sausage factory. I mean, I love Region 3, don't get me wrong, but it's not quite the same as what it was when it was. I didn't make it fair to say what meant as soon as it was on Vision. I mean, it's fun to watch it. No, it is. And Michael in this film, he doesn't look lean enough to me. He looks like he's carrying a bit of weight. It just, to me, looks like he's slightly overweight, maybe. It has been said about certain Michaels where I think it's George P. Wilbur. Is it in 4? Is it George P. Wilbur in 4? Was this George P. Wilbur? Where was it Don Shanks? The criticism made about one of the Michaels. He was like, he was quite rotund in his appearance, and it just went completely against the Michael of like 1 and 2, because Nick Castle and Dick Warlock were like, very lean, very slim guys. So it is George, yeah, because George, he looks to me like he's not in the best of shape. Is what I'm getting from this and what I remember watching it as a kid. Has anyone ever thought you look like Adam Levine? I don't know. Who's Adam Levine, Jamie? Is that the guy from? Is he a singer? Is that Maroon 5? I hope so, because he's a good-looking fella. If that's the case, I'll take that. I could have worse comparisons. Oh, he was in Clueless, yeah, of course. That was before this, wasn't it? That was like 93. I've never seen Clueless. It's something that never really registered. It was never resonated with me. Represent indeed, Orc. Hope you've been enjoying the Olympics, Orc. Hope you've been enjoying. And as the women's beach volleyball started, because I did look on YouTube and I couldn't find anything, up to date regarding women's beach volleyball. So I had to watch them from about 3 or 4 years ago. But I don't think it really mattered. It's women's beach volleyball, so it doesn't really matter what year it's from. It's just fun to watch. Well, like women's pole vault, men and culture come together, Yeah, yeah. Old school sausage factory is so good. As I say, I love Region 3. Don't get me wrong, but I love with the original sausage factory. It felt more organic. It kind of the conversation just sort of flowed, and it didn't feel as it feels a bit more broken down now with the subjects, whereas everybody has the chance to talk about a certain thing for a set amount of time, and then they'll go into someone else. I like that with the sausage factory. It was kind of just, how's that American saying? Is it shooting the bull? I don't know. People just talk, and you don't really sort of restrict anyone to what they want to say, and it just kind of flows naturally. And some of those old sausage factory episodes are so fucking good. I always remember one where Piers and Jane had to start talking about drugs, and Piers was talking about smoking in the shower, and it was just such an it just started from something completely a random maybe comment, and it just turned into this 40-minute discussion about drugs. And I think that's what I love about the old sausage factory. And I think Region 3, it doesn't really have that. It kind of, and it's still a great show, but it does stick to a narrative more, and it doesn't flow as freely as it used to, as the sausage factory did. But It's all good. Goodbye, Jamie. Yeah, I'd say me too, Jess. I say I do love old school Satisfactory. I've got to say, and I miss Rambo as well. Rambo, I still subscribe to Rambo. I don't know why he is. Does he never? Does he not like have anything to do with Piz and the other guys anymore? Because he uploads about like 50 times a day, and I just love his channel because it's like Rambo's channel is kind of like it's almost as if like it's a channel. It's like it's like me now, like with no, even though he's got loads of subs, but he's not like sort of like gone the route of like getting ultra HD webcams and editing and all that. He just puts this camera on, talks in front of the camera, and just it's on PC. He just swears, he shouts, and does all this, and it's just so entertaining. And when he rants, oh, it's so funny. But I miss Rambo, like in terms of like appearing on the Sausage Factory, and obviously he's not on Region 3 either. Well, Halloween film is the best and worst acting. Well, Halloween 1 definitely is the best acting. Worst acting, probably 5, I'd say. Just the cops as well. The cops are so bad. Since came with the same with the S. Oh, don't worry, Jamie. We still like it. It's just that you know. 6. Eating too much probably. I thought that. I'll take that, Jamie. Yeah, I'll take Adam Levine any day of the week. It's got to be better than a lot of people. You know, a lot of lookalikes. I don't think I do. Cold hearted day, I probably don't. And I don't think I've got like a 6-pack like Adam Levine either. I haven't got a 6-pack fit period. So, random question: can a twin that was a twin or can a twin? I don't think there's any guarantee that twins have the same blood. To my knowledge, I think it doesn't matter if you're twins or not. I know brothers and sisters don't necessarily have the same blood group. So I'm assuming twins is the same. I don't think there's any guarantee. I'm no doctor, but maybe somebody else knows that question. But I know brothers and sisters can have completely different blood groups, even if they've got the same mother and father. I think so, anyway. The dad in this film is such a dick. Oh, Jesus Christ. Sean's in the chat. I knew Sean would be on sooner or later. What's up, Sean? How's it going, man? Rambo's bad internet service. The TV's got bad internet service, or he hasn't upgraded his camera in 10 years. Yeah, I mean, the Sausage Factory did sort of skate around, you know, some edgy subjects from time to time, whereas Region 3 is more, it is more, I'm not going to say PC, it's slightly safer. Yeah, me neither, Sean. I'm not a fan of this film either. This film is, as I say, it's got that look as well, of like that very mid 90s. It's kind of a lot of the colours is quite very sort of. I mean, I know this film's set in the autumn, but I feel like a lot of these shows around the very mid 90s felt very used a lot of like brown and green, and it's like quite cold, sort of like winter colours. And this obviously the way they're dressed, this kind of reminds you of like a lot of those American shows in the mid 90s. My So-Called Life rings a bell with the hair, especially with the hairstyles and the fashions as well. I mean, the Curtains hairstyle. I mean, which was a big deal in the UK as well. In the UK, a lot of people had, the sort of centre part with the hair, like long hair coming down like that. Something as in, God. A lot of people don't go on anything. That's strange. I don't. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would have thought they've gained viewers since the change because that was the whole point of trying to reach a wider audience. But I mean, I'm not. Whereas the Sausage Factory was like completely sort of, must watch for me from beginning to end. Region Three, I can't. I think what it is, I think there's so much more YouTube I watch now. Like when Sausage Factory was a big deal for me, there was a lot of channels that I wasn't aware of now, which I wasn't aware of then, which I'm aware of now, and I kind of that eats into my watch time. And when you've got you got a job and you got like a family and that, and it's like you've only got so much limited time. And when you started the Sausage Factory, there was a lot of stuff that wasn't around on YouTube, so that was kind of like my go-to. Obviously, I've always watched Piz's own channel, obviously still do, but it was kind of like there's been quite a few really, really good channels come along in the last couple of years. I don't know about anybody likes Nerdrotic. He's a YouTuber. He's got like 300,000 subs. He and a bunch of other guys. They have a show called Friday Night Tights on a Friday night where they discuss, pop culture, comic books, movies, and they put a really good show together and like a 5 hour long show. And I spend a lot of time on his channel and the stuff he puts out. So it's kind of hard to just fit in other stuff as well as having, holding down a job, doing my own channel, doing live streams and trying to watch films. So it's difficult, and the amount of YouTube channels, which is, there's always more and more channels just coming along, every day. And so it's very, very difficult for like, any YouTubers to maintain an audience. And even like something like PewDiePie, if you look at his viewing figures have plummeted in the last. He still gets a lot of massive views, but his viewing figures are like 50% halved on what he was getting probably 2 years ago. He was getting 4 or 5 million views a week on a video. That's down to like 2. So it comes and goes, and popularity comes and goes, and I think that's what I mean. A lot of the really, really big YouTubers, I'm talking like the ones with millions of subscribers. It's a fickle audience, and people will come and go, and they'll like you 1 minute, and I think it's not like TV. I think with TV, even though TV is like a dying medium, I think people are more loyal to TV celebrities than they are to like YouTube celebrities. And I think a lot of these sort of these big YouTubers in a few years' time, ones who are getting millions of views, the channel will just be a shadow of its former self. And you can see it as well. You can see it like with a lot of these YouTube channels as well. They'll have like the people who subscribe to these channels, they'll subscribe to them, but they don't unsubscribe from them. So you get this false idea that this channel is a massive channel. But in reality, if you look at the views is all that matters. It's not about subscribers, it's about views. And if you look at like, you know, a lot of these massive YouTubers who've got millions of subs, a lot of them are only getting like, you know, a few 100,000 views for a video, which is not really good enough for where they're at in terms of subs. But the fact of the matter is they were big for a while, pulled in all these subscribers, and all the subscribers abandoned them, but just forgot to delete the subscription. And now they're left with like a hardcore of like a few 100,000 who watch their videos. So, I mean, yeah, YouTube and the internet is a very fickle thing, and it is what it is. So I'm under no illusions that, you know, I'd like to think that, you know, if I ever like made it to like a couple of hundred subscribers, there'd still be like a fair amount of people who would want to watch. But no, realistically, no, there'd be, you know, 25% of that 200 would probably watch, and then the other 75% would have been people who subscribed and then moved on. I've probably forgot. I mean, the amount of subscribers, the amount of people I'm subscribed to on YouTube who I never ever watch is ridiculous. I probably watch about 10% of the people I'm subscribed to, and I just haven't got time. I have got time, but I just can't be bothered unsubscribing from all these channels of people who I never ever watch. It wasn't changed. No, it wasn't changed. But something that just well, I think so. I was referring to like the sausage factory, and I went from the sausage factory to Region 3. I don't think it's changed since then. Not to my knowledge, anyway. Yeah. Oh, Jamie. I'm sure women were allowed in the chat. Maybe I don't think the guys would have a problem. Maybe some of the chat would be maybe I don't know. I think the chat was always pretty cool in the sausage factory. I don't think there was ever any issues. I don't know when it was supposed to something. I think Piz even said like the reason they changed it to Region 3 is because there was a couple of times when they wanted to get a big guest on, and he was wary of appearing on a channel called the Sausage Factory. He thought it was like a gay thing, so he never revealed who the person was, but it was apparently quite a fairly big, you know, star. But they wouldn't appear on it because they didn't like the connotations of being on a channel called the Sausage Factory, because he thought wrongly that it was like some sort of gay thing. Jamie's been on Region 3. Get me YouTube bigger. Not in a good way. I go for because they limit spots, but that kind of thing. I'm not able to. I don't know this video because they allow me to. I think most people, you know, if they're not on YouTube, they're on Twitter, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. Most people don't watch live TV anymore. They're on Netflix. No, most people aren't watching I think the only time people really watch, maybe in a big number, record the TV is when like something like Game of Thrones was Game of Thrones. That was going out live, wasn't it? Around the world. So that was probably one of the occasions where normal TV getting a big audience, because I seem to remember like there being a massive deal about Game of Thrones people watching it in bars and pubs, you know, as well as just in the houses. And I think that was a major deal. But I mean, most times now, yeah, I mean, most people watch TV shows, they binge watch it on Netflix or on a streaming service. A lot of these streaming services now, even like the BBC, before the show goes live on its channel, they'll just drop every episode on their app, which is crazy to me because it seems like it's a bad idea in terms of like getting views. But I call this a live commentary. I spend most of the time just talking in the chat. I think people are like watching the film as well as just, but you know, I don't like people who have millions of subscribers, but they still make more. Should be not given. Yeah, I mean, it's fair enough. I mean, I think the big subscribe and the big channels, it kind of grows organically, and then it kind of, after a certain point, people start subscribing because they've just heard about this channel and they think they need to subscribe. But yeah, it's yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, same here, Jamie. I mean, it's nice to get a few subs, just enough to get, you know, at the end of the day, look, I've got like 8 people in the chat, 8 people now watching, and I've got 30 subscribers. That's more than I could have ever dreamed of. When I started my channel, I dreamed about having just a few people in the chat watching along with me. And I didn't think I would gain it, like 7 or 8 people off 30 subs, because if you look at, you know, if you look at some like these bigger YouTube channels, and they might have like 30, 40,000 subscribers, and they'll probably have like 80, 90 people in the chat, which is, the correlation doesn't really add up. I mean, realistically, with only 30 subs, I should have like 1 person in the chat. But because obviously this is our little community that we're in terms of like, you know, it started for me with Piz, and it kind of went, it kind of fluctuated out to people like Jay and Hayden and Lauren and that. So and Timmy and, you know, all those, and Jonathan and Corey, I'm trying to remember everyone's name, but because of everybody who's kind of in that circle and being in the streams all the time and being in the chat, and so when it came to a time when I was, you know, wanted to start my own channel and start doing live streams, all the guys in the community sort of knew who I was, and so they would subscribe and then would jump on board. So it's great, like, you know what I mean? It really is a great thing. I think it does help as well with the time I stream, because it's not too late for people in the UK or Ireland, who's like Sean, and it's a great time for people on the eastern coast of the States, because, you know, over there, you know, it's like early evening. If I was to stream earlier on, you know, like 8, 9 o'clock in UK time, I don't think that would really resonate as much with people on the eastern coast. I don't know if there's anybody who subscribes to me who's on a different time zone other than UK time or Eastern Standard Time. I don't think there's anybody who's like on the like west coast of America or in Australia, anything like that. So it's kind of handy, really, just to stream around this time, especially on a Tuesday night, because I don't work Wednesdays. So it's a good time for me because I don't have to get up early in the morning. I'm going to veer off slightly because this is the famous scene. The mother getting hacked to death amongst the washing line. Very few things in this film make me tear myself away from the chat, because if you watched my live stream of the first Halloween film, there's virtually no interaction with the chat. It's just focusing on the film and doing a proper live commentary, whereas I talk about every scene. As the series goes on, I spend less time talking about the film and just talking to the chat, because as each film progresses, I care less about. I will say 4. I do like 4 over 2. I do like 3, but 5, yeah. I mean, in a couple of weeks I'll be doing Resurrection. There's going to be nothing to say about that film. It's just going to be, I barely acknowledge the film. I wasn't even going to do a live stream of Resurrection, but I thought, you know what, I'll just finish it off. And I think Halloween 2018 I will do the week before Halloween Kills drops, because I need to refresh myself for that film. So I'll do a live commentary for that, but I will be focusing on the film because I need to like really soak it in and get ready for the next film. But Big Crack Rocks in the chat. What's up, man? How's it going? I was just like William Lustig. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, some of those old Sausage Factory. I think Orc nearly got in trouble a few times with some of the things. This is your channel. I don't know if anybody else knows. Get around there and Lustig naked. What? I did not know that. I'll have to go back and check that. Troopers are one of the best ones doing, but they thought it was a gay group. Wasn't Game of Thrones on Netflix? No, I think Game of Thrones was, well, it went out in the UK, I think on Sky Atlantic, but it was, Game of Thrones was not did not go out on streaming services. It went out on normal TV, especially in the UK it did. Now, I can't speak for the America, but I'm pretty sure in the States it went out on a weekly basis on a actual, TV network. It was definitely not like it was not streamed in any way, which led to the massive audience for like the final series, the final season. Don't know what, I just they tell me if they need me or not. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably be a little bit intimidated about being on Region 3. I don't mind being on Piz's patron streams because there's just, there's a lot of people on there who just don't even have channels, who, just like me, just regular guys. But like Region 3 is kind of like, especially on Sausage Factory, these people are like, really know the stuff. And I feel like maybe I probably feel like I was a little bit out of my depth. And then having to like sort of come up with like a 15-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute discussion about something, I'm not sure, I'd probably be a little bit uncomfortable with that. He's back with us to lunch. Oh, back again. What's up, man? We're just, I don't know if you just jumped out the chat, but we were just discussing Sausage Factory. Maybe make one more appearance on Region 3 for old time's sake. Well, we weren't sure whether you were too politically incorrect for Region 3, though. I like camera section. DJ, you're a sick individual. How's Scotland today? That's obviously aimed at DJ. It's probably raining. I'm just having a guess, DJ. Yeah, he died before the film was released. He was not in a good place at this time. Like I say, I just hope that his family made some good money out of this film, because It seems almost bad that he was even forced into. I don't know why he was even in this film. I mean, obviously they wanted him, but like he was clearly not well. Yeah, Paul Rudd has aged. I will say that he still looks good for his age, but he has aged. He looks very young here. Yeah, he was. I'm too cool for Region 3. Oh, this is the scene now we've got with Paul Rudd. It's really, really obviously it is a 90s film with this extremely 1990s computer explaining how the whole mark of form works. Oh, this is not aged well. It's really not. Anything computer wise in any movie just always looks horribly dated, and that's the problem with like technology. It ages so badly, and you can always put a year on almost to the. You can always put a decade on it, and you can always put an exact year on when a film was made. Whenever they show something like this, it's the same with cell phones, mobile phones. It's a flip phone. It's early 2000s, and then you get more to like sort of your early iPhones, late 2000s. It's just it doesn't work. It's like when you watch I watched a James Bond film. I think it was Quantum of Solace. He's got the flip phone. It could have been the first. It could have been Casino Royale, but everything else in the film looks so modern and so because it's all these crazy gadgets and stuff, and the stunts look amazing because it's still a relatively new film. But the flip phone looks so out of place amongst everything else because that has not aged well, whereas everything else has aged perfectly okay because people jumping off of buildings and explosions and stuff, and the special effects were good in the mid noughties. That has aged perfectly okay, but it's little things like what cell phone you're using really ages a film just like that, and it's yeah, it's crazy. So maybe well, yeah, we've had a heat wave in England. It started raining today, but yeah, we always complain about never getting any sunny weather, and then as soon as we get sunny weather, we complain that it's too hot. I've always wanted to go to Ireland. You came one day, I can have a Coke, Pepsi at a pub. Well, I wouldn't get you a Coke or a Pepsi, or I mean, I'd get you something a bit stronger. Maybe a good pint of Guinness, or a pint of I don't know. What could we get you? I'm trying to think of a good. I don't. I probably wouldn't be a British lager. It'd probably be something foreign, but maybe a good pint of ooh, Peroni, maybe, or maybe get you a Jägermeister, Jägermeister. I like that. But I love it. It's kind of That's another movie from the mid 90s. It's like The Net as well with Sandra Bullock, where they had this idea about how the internet's going to be, and like yeah, it's quite nice. It's quite. Trying to think of the right word, but maybe naive of the movie makers, but almost quite romantic as well. I don't know. It's just they never really pan out like that. I mean, look at Back to the Future. They predicted hoverboards by 2021. What do we get now? We certainly don't get hoverboards. Have you tried the new Coke Zero? I don't drink Coke. I don't know if that's aimed at Orc. Maybe I don't drink Coke. I don't. I don't like soft drinks. I hate soft drinks. I don't even like. I mean, I'll drink lager, but even if the lager's too gassy, then I don't like that either. I prefer like something a bit. I like Corona. I do like Corona. The young ones. Yeah, Angelina Jolie is gorgeous in that film. That's it, Jamie. I'd buy you a bacon cheeseburger, mate. If I like bacon cheeseburgers, especially from Burger King. Unfortunately, Burger King is kind of like a. We do have a Burger King near me, but it's McDonald's everywhere you go. Probably the same where you are. I mean, Burger King doesn't have enough of an influence in the UK. It's just McDonald's, 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 Subway, Subway, Subway. Burger King barely gets a look in, and KFC as well. KFC barely gets a look in as well. I love KFC, but KFC is like for every one KFC and every one Burger King, you've got like 15 McDonald's, like 10 Subways. They're called they're called rolls and bacon in Scotland. Yeah, you won't be getting it anytime soon, I don't think, or we romanticize everything, not the past, don't we? I mean, we romanticize it, especially when it comes to like people of our age, Jamie. We romanticize everything about the 80s and probably the early 90s. And I suppose 10, 15 years from now, kids will be romanticising the 2010s, and we'll probably look at them and go, why romanticising that? There's nothing special about that decade. But to them, it will be because that's the age they grew up. I mean, for us, there's always something when you get older. There's always something which you look upon as an adult and go, well, you always say to a kid, you don't know what it's like for us growing up. And like for my parents' generation, they always say to me, you don't know how lucky you've got it. You've got all these toys and stuff. And then when we grew up, Christmas Day, we'd get, we get a banana or a tangerine, and that would be their Christmas. And they'd have to go to the toilet outside in the garden. And they say to my generation, growing up in like the 80s, oh, you've got everything. And now my generation says to like my kids' generation, "Oh, you don't know how lucky you've got it. You've got your cell phones, mobile phones. You've got your Xbox. You've got your online, everything. You've got you've got your entire history of music in your back pocket with your phones." So there's always this generational jump where there's always something that happens where you can't quite relate to what they've got in terms of. I mean, even though I've got it, I never grew up with it like the way they did. So they don't know what it was like to not have it, whereas I do, and I appreciate not having it. And I think a lot of people who are our age will say the same thing. I appreciate not growing up with a smartphone. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I lived a fairly normal life. I'm glad I didn't grow up with social media because I think I appreciate growing up not having it more now that all this is here. And especially with, I can't imagine going to school now and, kids getting bullied. They can't even go home. And, when you were a kid, when every kid at my age, anybody who's getting bullied in school, they go home. They could forget about it until the next day. Not an ideal situation, but you could at least forget about it for 24 hours. Kids nowadays, if they're getting bullied at school, they go home and they've got it on social media. They've got it through, Snapchat and WhatsApp and, Facebook and whatever. So it's not great. I'm glad I'm just glad I didn't grow up with that lifestyle. The same. Yeah. Yeah, Subway's at McDonald's everywhere. Yeah. I mean, I don't even like Subway. I don't like McDonald's too much, to be honest with you. Well, why is it, Subway's over McDonald's? Really? I would have thought McDonald's was number one. I didn't realise Subway was bigger. That's crazy, that. Because I remember like Subway's only been in the UK for probably, well, certainly where I am, maybe like 10, 15 years. Whereas McDonald's have been in my area for like 30 years, 40 years probably. If Mike has to kill his bloodline to be free of the curse, why would they call something he's just because he's free? As I say, it's think too much into this sort of stuff and it'll drive you insane. Mike, what is that? It's new something I've never seen. It's very much based on chicken, so it's chicken heavy. It's like chicken wings, chicken pieces, and you pour like hot sauce over it. Yeah, it's Nando's is pretty much all chicken. I don't think there's anything other than chicken on the menu. Well, yeah, good for you, Jamie. It's fast food. Fast food is no good for. I mean, I like fast food, but you can't maintain a lifestyle of just eating fast food all the time. It's that sort of lifestyle is going to catch up with people. But as a treat, I mean, I certainly couldn't give up pizza or fried chicken forever. I'd have to just occasionally dip back into it. But Pepsi Max is awesome. I say I like normal Pepsi, but I'm aware of what it'll do to my teeth. And like, my teeth aren't perfect, but I like to maintain them to at least some point. Normal Pepsi, that stuff will just rot your teeth. Yeah. Is Pepsi? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Pepsi Zero Sugar's in the UK. Yeah. Or Zero Sugar or Max. I'm not entirely sure. I thought Pepsi Max was Zero Sugar or Coca-Cola Max. I think there is a zero sugar option for Coca-Cola and Pepsi in the UK. I know that much, but we don't have the range of different types you guys have in the US. I know you have all these crazy flavors for like Coca-Cola and Pepsi. We don't have that. Well, not to my knowledge. Maybe in London, maybe, but not where I am. I'm sure we got to Jamie Oliver. See that? Yeah, Jamie Oliver. Yeah, he doesn't like anything to do with fast food. Although he's quite chumpy and chunky himself. So although he hates fatty foods, he's quite chubby himself. So he's eating quite a few fatty foods. Coke vanilla. See, that's another one of those crazy flavors. I don't think. I mean, I'm sure you can get it where I am, but no, not for me. Yeah, McDonald's is definitely bigger, than Subway in the UK. But if it's worldwide, maybe Subway is bigger. I know famous Princess. I remember I was in middle school when Princess Diana. Everybody knows who they were when Princess Diana died. Yeah, I think that's one of those. Even like for anyone, American, whatever, everybody. I remember. I knew where I was. Well, I was asleep when she died because she died like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. But getting up in the morning the next day and distinctly remember watching the news. Crazy. Greg's. I like Greg's. Greg's would be completely lost on American audiences. If you like sausage rolls and pasties and cheese on toast, Greg's is the go-to place. And it's very cheap as well. Do you have Greg's in Ireland, Sean? I know obviously it's a big deal in the England and Scotland, but I'm not sure whether Ireland has Greg's. All right, I like chicken strips. Yeah, I went there and asked for chicken nuggets. They said they don't do chicken nuggets. And I was like, "He said we don't chicken nuggets." Yeah, that's a strange one. It's a piece of things. Love like cheese. Is that different? Because I know someone I know is lactose intolerant. I think is it lactose intolerance where you can't eat cheese? Cottage, yeah, definitely. I'd love to go to Maine. I think that's where you are. Oh, I'd love to go there. Probably do all the Stephen King stuff. I can imagine it's quite sort of peaceful there as well. Probably not too like crazy. Probably not, maybe not too expensive as well. So I feel your pain, DJ. Feel your pain. Mention back to the film for like the third time in an hour. Yeah, it sucks, man. I mean, not to not be able to eat what you want, but if it's for the benefit of your health, then you've just got to do it. Yeah, lactose intolerant, yeah. Very odd notion. Yeah, I think that's what appeals to me about going to Maine. I probably, if I went to New York, I probably could. I mean, a drive to Maine would probably be. It's drivable from New York, isn't it? Probably would be 10, 15 hours drive, maybe. Or is that maybe not? Is it more like 20 hours? I'm not sure. I know it's on the East Coast. It's like north of New York. But yeah, I'd definitely like to go to Maine. Five, is that all it is? Bloody hell. I thought it'd be longer than that because don't you have to drive through Connecticut to get there? I know obviously America's a massive country, but I suppose a lot of these, on the East Coast, it's fairly compact maybe, and it's obviously to drive from like New York to like California would be a couple of days probably, but I didn't know it was that long. I mean, I didn't know it was that short. I mean, 5 hours is that's like sort of driving from like where I am to like Cornwall, which is like doesn't seem that far. Connecticut is tiny. It's not just where all the rich people live, Connecticut. I know it's very expensive around there, isn't it? It's a lot of we get a lot of youth visitors in the summer. Yeah, good for you, DJ. Yeah, water. I mean, I'm drinking water now. I did have a couple of lagers before, but yeah, when I'm doing a live stream, I just drink water. Don't rub it in, Sean. There's people here who can't eat pizza. Greenwich is loaded. Well, there's a Greenwich in London, which is quite a rich area as well. Greenwich Mean Time, which is what the our UK time. So if I post on like Twitter saying going live, and I say Eastern Standard Time, if I use put UK time, but really technically I should put GMT, which is Greenwich Mean Time, which is kind of like our Greenwich is an area of London, but it's kind of like I don't know, I said that the meridian clock goes through Greenwich or something. I don't know how it works, but that's what you base UK time on. But yeah, I'm assuming Greenwich in Maine, or so Greenwich in Connecticut is named after Greenwich in London. I think all around that part of the east coast of America, there's just places named after places in England. Like New York, you got York, New York, New England, New Hampshire. I need to become more aware of like time zones. I only know Eastern Standard Time because of doing live streams. I'm not entirely sure. It's like West Coast, they like about 3 hours behind Eastern Standard Time or more. Yeah, I've still got to get my second COVID jab, Sean, even though I should have had it by now. They actually cancelled it on me because I think they wanted me to get it done quicker. And because they cancelled it on me, I've been too lazy to go and book for the second jab. So, yeah, I just need to book the second jab. But, yeah, it was all meant to be done and dusted for like beginning of August. But because they cancelled the second jab and told me to book it myself, I've just been too sort of lazy to do it. So I need to do that. I was fine after the first jab, but I know. I think didn't you say, Sean, you were ill after the first jab as well? I know it affects different people in different ways. I think I got the Pfizer, which I think people who got the AstraZeneca were like complaining that they weren't feeling too good. Yeah, well, it'll be done in the next week or two. Yeah, I think I remember you saying after the first one you weren't too good. But did you get AstraZeneca? Because I'm sure there was an issue with that one where it was hitting people pretty badly. Whereas I think the Pfizer was like a lot less side effects. Yeah, yeah. I did hear about the AstraZeneca. It was quite nasty for a lot of people. Yeah, mothing instincts, mothering instincts. So we are 1 hour 9 minutes into the film now. If anybody's watching along, coming to the conclusion of the film now. I actually like this part of the film. These open wide sort of like corridors feel totally different to the rest of the film. Paul Rudd does pull off that sort of creepy weirdo look quite well as well. Yeah. Well, I was supposed to be watching it as well, Sean, but I spent most of the time just talking to you guys. But as I say, Halloween 6 is not the sort of film that really pulls me in. And has me just getting distracted from the chat. It's the other way around. The chat has me distracted from the film, which says a lot about this film. We've got the showdown between Donald Pleasence and the Man in Black. Oh yeah, hell yeah! I'm not the biggest fan of Nightmare on Elm Street. Probably going to do a Friday the 13th watch along after the Halloween series. Be really predictable. Do Friday the 13th, and then probably just veer off into more, maybe some slightly more obscure stuff. I will say, if Jess is still in the chat, I am going to be doing a UK, like, not necessarily horror films, it's like UK horror thrillers, like deep cuts, which maybe American audiences aren't that aware of. I think you suggested it to me a while ago, and I have been meaning to do like more like actual uploads rather than just live streams. And I have actually whittled down a list of films that I was going to talk about. So yeah, I'm going to be uploading that in the next like 4 or 5 days. So I think I've got like 5 or 6 films which are really, I think American audiences, a couple of the American audiences will be aware of, but I think there's 3 or 4 which are films that like probably UK audiences aren't even aware of. So, and really, really good films as well. I've also got. I'm also planning on uploading my vision for a Friday the 13th fan film in the next couple of weeks, which I'm really looking forward to talking about. It's just my vision of how would, if I had the money and the talent, how I would do a Friday the 13th fan film. It was fantastic. Michael walking extremely slowly, almost like to Halloween 2 levels there. Very 80s looking, this scene with Paul Rudd. Obviously, it's just, yeah, a lot of like neon colours. I do like the last 20 minutes of this film. I really do like. It's just the first hour. I'm not really. Yeah, yeah, it looks good. Looks good. Might be talking about it on Pizza Stream. Hopefully, it looks decent. Oh, Lord's in the chat. What's up, man? I'm assuming you're not a fan of this movie, then, Lorne. But you've got all these doctors just in a room going on for their business, and you've got like this psychopathic killer just wandering around the corridors. The mask is so off in this film now. He gets the machete or the knife. Yeah, it's a machete. Kind of a couple of ways going on. Yeah, Michael definitely lacks something in this film. He's just. I know he's a blank. He's like a blank. He's like a blank space always in every film, but he seems to lack any personality in this film at all. And I know it's difficult for somebody like Michael Myers to have a personality, period, but nothing comes through in this film from him at all. It's just nice kill. Put himself through the railings. I think what's wrong with Michael as well. He's so clearly a different actor than Nick Castle or Dick Warlock. I think we notice less with Jason. You know, there's different, maybe slightly different traits and stuff, but it's really noticeable with Michael that it's not the same actor from the first. I mean, obviously, it's not the same actor from the part 2 who's in part 1. With Dick Warlock is not the same as Nick Castle, but they both nail it, I think, in their own way. But by the time you get to 4, 5, and 6, they don't really. They're just so off with the movements. It's just totally different, and obviously the masks are just not just not the same. Yeah, definitely. He looks like the mask makes him look like he's like smiling or like smirking. It's just so. Just makes you look and feel in good late sense anyway. Bad lifetime dramas. And the gore scenes are acting like Johnny was character. So, But is this better than H to Rodo Lawn? Because I think it's close. I think I prefer H to O over this, but I don't think there's that much in it. She tries to pull his mask off. We almost see his face, but we don't. Michael's too fat to get through. See, Tony Moran would have, Dick Warlock would have got through this no problem. Michael needs to go on a diet. I'd agree. I mean, I definitely agree that H2O is a better film. Be nice, Org. I think the way this film ends, there's clearly no resolution to Michael dying because the way it just ends, he's clearly just going to come back. It's not as if there's been any definitive way of, he's not like they've chopped his head off or burned him alive. They just leave him there, and obviously he's just going to come back to life. So There we go. Mask off in memory of Donald Pleasence. So ends Halloween 6. And that was a tough one to get through. Without the chat, I would have been having a really, really boring night of it. But luckily, with the chat, didn't have to pay too much attention to the film. They changed because of you. Awful Captain Halloween. Yeah, did not like the mask in this film or whatsoever. Just a quizzical sort of expression on his face the whole time. It's just, yeah. This is, yeah. I thought you were going to say the film was a massive step down from Halloween 5 for a minute. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure. I think you hate Halloween 5 more than this, don't you, Lon? Sort of way. Dan, what's up, Dan? What's up, man? Definitely better than 6. Yeah, I think that seems to be the consensus. Is H2O is definitely a better film. And I'd go with that. But as I say, I'm going to watch that next week. And it's been a long time since I've seen that film. So, sometimes these rewatches can be pretty rough. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up now, guys, because probably going to be jumping on Piz's streaming soon. Probably see you there, Lorne, as well. So I just want to say a big thanks to everyone. The chat's been amazing tonight. Lorne, Orc, Dan, Jamie, Captain Halloween, Sean, Jamie. Did I say Jamie? Apollo, DJ. Is that it? I think that's it. I've not missed anyone else, have I? Big Crack Rock as well. And then if you've got Big Crack Rock. I think that is it. But anyway, thank you a lot, guys. Really means a lot tonight. The chat was popping tonight. I really, really appreciate it. So I will see you guys on Friday for another midnight stream. And hopefully I'll be jumping on Piz's Patreon stream in next to no time. So I will see you guys later. Bye.